Hello everyone. Let's review shloka number 36 in Soundarya Lahari. tavājñācakrasthaṁ tapanaśaśikoṭidyutidharaṁ paraṁ śṁbhuṁ vande parimilitapārśvaṁ paracitā yamārādhyan bhaktyā raviśaśiśucīnāmaviṣaye nirāloke'loke nivasati Bhaloka-bhuvane. That is the 36th verse in Soundarya Lahari. Before we look at the word by word meaning, let's take a look at the complete meaning of this particular verse. I believe that will help you appreciate the beauty of this verse because you will have some context. So the full meaning of this particular verse is, I bow to the Supreme Shambu who dwells in your Ajna Chakra, bearing the radiance of 10 million suns and moons, and who is joined at the side with Parachita, the Supreme Consciousness. One who worships this union with devotion certainly dwells in the world of radiance, which is a realm beyond the reach of sun, moon, and fire, a space devoid of external light but illuminated by the self. So that is the meaning of this particular verse. Let's take a look at the word by word meaning. Tavājñācakrasthaṁ. Tavājñācakrasthaṁ. So tava means yours. And when we say something is yours, it means it belongs to you. So belonging to you. What belongs to her? Ajna Chakra. Ajna Chakra is the chakra that is between the two eyebrows. And usually Ajna Chakra is associated with the mind. And the moment we say it is mind and all the 5 elements, those belong to Devi because she is the one who is manifesting everything. And she is the one who is manifested as well. Therefore, it belongs to her. So, Tava Ajna Chakra, Stham means to reside or situated. So, Tava Ajna Chakrasthaṁ. So, residing in your Ajna Chakra. Who's residing in the Ajna Chakra? Param Shambhum. Param means supreme. Shambhu means Shiva. And as Shambhu, he is the source of all auspiciousness. So, residing in the Ajna Chakra is Shambhu, the supreme consciousness, the supreme Lord Shiva. How is he? tapanaśaśikoṭidyutidharaṁ. So tapana means sun, sashi means moon, koti means crores or millions, dyuti means radiance, and dharam means bearing. That means he is dazzling like millions of suns and moons put together. That's how Shambhu is. And you have to say here, see here, that he is trying to say Shambhu is very bright. But he could have just used he's bright like the sun, because the moment we think of something bright, we always think of the sun, right? Because sun is that scorching heat. It is dazzling brilliance, but you can't look at the sun directly. None of us with our eyes can look at the sun directly. But he's also including the moon here. And that is the beauty is in that balance. And moons actually is a very cool nectar-like grace. That's the moon's light, right? So it is nice to look at. People enjoy looking at the moon. So here what he's saying is, he is so bright like the sun, but he is also someone we can see or you can see. You can't see the sun, but you can see the moon. So this is a sun that one can see. Therefore, the light of Shambhu is not a light that blinds, but it's a light that reveals. That's what he's trying to convey here. And how is this Shambhu? Parimilitapārśvaṁ paracitā. So parimilita means united or joined. And actually it goes a little bit beyond joined. It's not just a connection. It is a connection where it's almost like mingling. You don't know where one begins and another ends. It's like that. They are inseparable, like the scent of a flower and the flower itself. They are one and the same. So parimilita, combined like that. Parshva means at his side. So on the side. Who's joined like that, or who's commingled with him from all sides. Actually, Parshvam, even though it's side, when we combine it with Parimilita, you should say enveloped by. That's how it is. So completely surrounded or commingled by Parachita. Para means absolute. Chita means the mind stuff. So that references Shakti. She is the Para, the Supreme, and that very consciousness which is in each one of us, and as well as the universal consciousness. So that's why she is Parachita. So here Devi is described not as a goddess but as pure awareness. That's what's happening here. So if Shiva is that light that is dazzling, then Parachita is the knowing of that light, the awareness of that light. So the beauty here, by using the word parimilita, is saying that you cannot tell where the light ends and the awareness of the light begins. It's so seamless. And in the Ajna Chakra, the individual awareness merges into the supreme consciousness. So in the Ajna Chakra, the Rudra Granthi is broken. When the Rudra Granthi is broken, then all the things that make us uniquely us, because the Rudra Granthi is the place where all the vasanas are. So this is the conditioning or the groove that we are in. So when that is broken, everything that is uniquely us is now gone. That means at that point, the person is merging with the supreme consciousness. So the realization that I and the Brahman is one and the same is something that is happening at that point. So this is a movement from looking to being. So at that point, you're not observing, that individual is not observing the millions of suns and moons. Rather, they're becoming the awareness that experiences them. So it becomes like that. So he's saying, vande, I bow. So basically, the first two lines are saying, I bow to that Shambhu who resides in your Ajna Chakra, who is brilliant like millions of suns and moons together, and who is enveloped on all sides by that supreme consciousness, which is none other than Shakti. So that's what the first two lines say. Then he says, yamārādhyan bhaktyā raviśaśiśucīnāmaviṣaye nirāloke'loke nivasati he bhalokabhuvane. So he's saying yamārādhyan. Yam means whoever. Ārādhyan means worships. So whoever worships, and not just regular worship, bhaktyā, with devotion. So it's not simple worship, but with deep devotion. Whoever worships this pair with deep devotion, what happens to them? raviśaśiśucīnāmaviṣaye. Ravi means sun. Sashi means moon. Shuchi means fire, Agni. Avishaye means in a realm beyond the reach of. So that person goes to a realm which is beyond the reach of sun, moon and fire. When we say sun, moon and fire, actually what that represents is the material universe. So the sun and moon are the ones, every time we look at the Kala Chakra or you want to keep time, you look at sun and moon. So it is the time and all the elements. This universe is made up of all the elements. So the raviśaśiśucī actually represent the gross universe. And so this person is going to a realm that's beyond the reach of the gross universe or the material universe. So that means they transcend the material universe. And nirāloke'loke bhālokabhuvane nivasati. So nirāloke means without external light. That means unseen by the physical world or not seeing the physical world. You can look at it that way. Aloke means in the light. So it is a absolute solitude, but it is fully of light. And what is that world? Bhaloka, the world of light. Bhuvane, in the realm or abode. Bhuvanam means a place where you reside. You can think of it that way also. Nivasati means to reside, he truly. So he says they will reside in a world full of radiance, far beyond the reach of the material world, without any external light, but they still live in a world of light, is what he's trying to say. So let's explore this a little bit further. Actually, there is a profound beauty in this phrase, nirāloke'loke, that actually, if you translate it, it means lightless light. And the beauty is in that reversal. Usually, we need light to see things. Only with light we can see. Here, the thing that is being seen is the light. So, that individual is not looking at Shakti and Shambhu. The individual is looking by means of Shakti and Shambhu. So, to the outside world, this person is going to look like they're closing their eyes and they're lost to the world, right? And usually, when we close our eyes, it means that it is darkness, right? You can't see. But this is a person, while they are closing the light and the rest of the world may think that they are in darkness, internally they are in the Bhaloka, the world that's made of radiance actually. So the nirāloke'loke is trying to say that the greatest beauty is not something we see with our physical eyes, but something we become with our awareness. That's what it's trying to say. And if you see, it's further emphasized, right? If you see Bhaloka, Ba means radiance. Lokam means it focuses on the experience. So whenever we say lokam, you're seeing, you're perceiving, and that becomes our reality, right? And here, this Bhaloka is beyond the reach of sun and moon, which means this is a world that is perceived only by the inner eye. You can't see this world with your physical eye. You can only perceive it through the inner eye. And he says that Bhaloka, bhuvane nivasati he. So bhuvanam means it focuses on existence. When we say that bhuvanam, it's a little bit more stable. And he's saying nivasati. Nivasati means resides. So that means that is the bhuvanam nivasati, means that's their permanent residing place, permanent residence actually. So what he's trying to say is that enlightenment, when this individual is pulling into themselves and is letting go of the one and I, what happens at that time? It goes to the Sahasra Kamala. Actually, that's what the Bhaloka means here. The Kundalini energy going all the way up to the Sahasrara, and therefore there is this flashing light, and that particular enlightenment is a permanent thing. It's not a passing feeling. It's a permanent dwelling place for that individual who reached there. So in yoga, the Sahasra Kamala is the final abode where the individual stops becoming, and at that point they just are. So it is a movement from becoming to being. So that's what this is trying to highlight for us. And actually in this entire thing, the beauty of this verse is that Acharya is seamlessly combining a yogic process with devotion. Usually we'll say Jnana Margam and Bhakti Margam. And if you say Jnana Margam, there is all this Kundalini raising, etc. And if you say Bhakti Margam, there is feeling, etc. And here he is combining the two, where the individual is simply not opening a chakra, rather they are visiting the place or the sanctuary, the sacred place where Shiva and Shakti are in bliss. And so you get to visit that particular place. So that's the beauty of this particular verse. Once again, bringing all of this together, what this verse is saying is, I bow to the Supreme Shambu who dwells in your Ajna Chakra, bearing the radiance of millions of suns and moons, joined at the side with Parachita. One who worships this union with devotion certainly dwells in the world of radiance, which is a realm beyond the reach of sun, moon, and fire, a space devoid of external light but illuminated by the self. So this particular verse is usually chanted in order to attain good health. And the equivalent Lalita Sahasranama namas are Ajna Chakra, Para, Pratyakchiti Rupa, Dyutidhara. These are all equivalent namas. Now let's take a look at a story related to this particular verse. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Upamanyu. He was the son of sage Vyagrapada. So this family lived in the forest. So usually they'll eat whatever they can get from the forest. Fruits, nuts, whatever they can get. One day Upamanyu went to his uncle's house. His uncle is a regular householder, so they were all living in the village. So when he went to his uncle's house, they gave him some milk there. And this was the very first time Upamanyu had tasted milk. And this milk was so good, so rich, so creamy. They had put sugar in it, cardamom in it. This was the best thing he had ever tasted. And Upamanyu wanted more. He had only been given a small glass of milk. But he also felt very uncomfortable asking for more. And then he saw his cousin had a tall glass of this thick, creamy milk, and he kept on drinking it. When he finished the first glass, he went to his mother and asked for more. He kept on having it. Upamanyu was longing for that, but he did not ask. And then they came back home, but Upamanyu could not forget the taste of that milk, and he kept on longing for it. So he went to his mother and said, "Please give me some more milk. I want to taste it again." His mother just tried to bide time, and they don't have cows in the forest, so there is no source of milk. So she kept on pushing it, but Upamanyu, he kept on asking, "Please give me milk, please give me milk." He wasn't letting go at all. So now the mother didn't know what to do, so she came up with an idea. She went and got some grains, made them into a paste, and that paste looked white, and then she added some water into it, and then she poured it into a glass and said, "Here, Upamanyu, this is the milk." So Upamanyu was so happy. After a long time, he kept on asking. His mother now has finally given the milk. So he drank the milk. But as soon as he drank it, it was not at all the milk that he had tasted. And he said, "Mother, this is not any milk, please, this is not what I asked for." And then his mother decided to tell him the truth. "We all live in a forest. There are no cows here. Whether somebody getting milk or you want to get salvation, whatever we are supposed to get, whatever is in our destiny, is all determined by Shiva and Shakti. Only if they decide, we can have anything in life." So Upamanyu now, his longing for milk is so strong. So he took her words to heart and he said, "Okay, don't worry that we don't have cows and you can't give me milk. If there is a Shiva and Shakti, I will go and get an entire ocean of milk from them. You're saying they have to decide if we can get this or not. So I will go and get it from them." So now his mother thought, "Oh, this is a good idea. At least so far he was just going on asking for milk. Now he's saying he'll pray towards Shiva and Shakti. So let me help him." So immediately she said, "What you have thought of is a great idea. Don't delay. Immediately pray to Shiva and Shakti, and you do it with deep devotion. Don't just do it in a normal way. Do it with deep devotion. And here is a mantra. Namah Shivaya is the mantra. Use this mantra. This mantra is very powerful. All the mantras in the world are all contained within this mantra. And one more thing is, if anyone regularly chants this Namah Shivaya mantra, there is a Agora missile that will always come to their aid and that will always protect them. So consider all of this and be devoted to this mantra as well as to Shiva and Shakti." So immediately, now Upamanyu has everything that he needs. So Upamanyu went to Himalayas, and there he began a brutal penance. He did not eat anything. He just survived on air, and he was standing in total stillness. So this was equivalent to something that Parvati did. That's why we call her Aparna. So he went and did a penance like that. And now the power of his concentration is becoming so, it's increasing, and it's becoming a physical heat that is so intense, and the whole universe is able to feel that heat. So it is scorching heat that's happening there. And it's almost as if there is a second sun. It is that level of concentration which created that heat. So now all the gods are terrified and they all ran to Vishnu. And Vishnu also saw how he is doing the penance and the power. And so Vishnu went straight to Shiva. And he said, Shiva, somebody is praying towards you and his power is increased so much. Now this entire universe is going to burn because one boy wants milk. Please do something about it. So immediately Shiva said, don't worry, I will take care of it. And so Shiva decided to test Upamanyu's devotion. So Shiva is someone, he grants whatever we want. But before he grants, he'll always test whether the recipient is worthy of receiving it. So similarly, Shiva decided to test Upamanyu. So what he did is, he appeared in front of Upamanyu, but not as Shiva, but like Indra. So he came in the Airavata, all this golden crown and all the beauty and the splendor. So he appeared in front of Upamanyu, and then he said, I am Indra and I'm so delighted with your penance. Ask whatever boon you want. Let me give it to you. So Upamanyu bowed down to Indra and he said, there's only one thing that I want. I want to be always devoted to Shiva. That's all I want. And so immediately Indra said, what? You want to be devoted to Shiva? Shiva wanders with outcasts. And he is sprayed himself with all these tiger skin and ashes and all that. You want to pray him? Don't. Instead, I'll tell you what you need to do. You worship me, and I will give you every kingdom and fortune on the earth. What you want, I will give it to you. Now, Upamanyu got really angry. He did not care about this god who came with the Airavata or all this dazzling gold or anything. He realized that Indra was speaking ill of Shiva. And so immediately he became very upset and he said, you're insulting Shiva. And it is not okay to insult Shiva. Actually, it is a sin to insult Shiva. On top of it, making me listen to that, you've now made me also sin. So even to hear the divine insulted is a sin. So he's saying that you've insulted Shiva in my presence and now made me incur that sin as well. So then he said, you know what? Let the milk that I want wait, but I am not going to leave this as is. I have to atone for this sin. The only way I can atone is one, I can kill myself or I can kill you. So what I'm going to do is first kill you and then I will kill myself because this is not something I will put up with. If you speak ill of Shiva, I can't take it. So immediately he grabbed the vibhuti that he had and he chanted the Namah Shivaya mantra, and now he's got this Agora missile and he's trying to throw that at Indra. So he's launching that missile. As soon as he launched that missile, suddenly all this illusion shattered and the elephant vanished, Indra vanished, and who was there? It was Shiva, who was seated on Nandi along with Parvati. He was holding a trident in his hand and he was surrounded by all the Ganas. And now there are drums sounding in the heaven. There is a shower of flowers falling from the sky. All the gods are looking down. And Upamanyu is completely enveloped by a wave of bliss. He never expected to see Shiva. So immediately Upamanyu fell at his feet. And then Shiva was smiling and Shiva came and said, you prayed to me just for milk, right? Now I will give you thousands of oceans of milk. It is not just that I will give you the milk. I will give you ghee, I will give you nectar, I will give you fruits, I'll give you food, and I'll give you mountains of all sweets, laddu, adrasam, whatever you want. I'll give you everything that you want to eat. And I bless you to be always happy, free from misery, and always be one of my devotees. So then he said, you will be considered just like a son. You're my son from now on. And then he turned to Parvati and he said, Parvati, this is your son. And Parvati immediately embraced Upamanyu. And the moment she embraced, he got all the great riches that you can get. Because Parvati is someone who's capable of giving yogam and bhogam. So he got all the riches and everything became his. And she also didn't stop there. She went ahead and gave him the Brahma Vidya. The Brahma Vidya is the supreme knowledge of the absolute, that ultimate reality, and the perpetual contentment, the eternal bliss that is possible. So you can see that Upamanyu started by crying for a glass of milk, but he ended up as someone who's the master of the universe by attaining supreme bliss, and he is dwelling forever in the luminous light of the divine. And you can see how this story brings the verse to life, right? So Upamanyu went into the nirāloka, where he was lost to the external world, completely devoted, and you can see the strength of his devotion. And when he did that, both Shiva and Shakti came, and Shakti, through her grace, gave the Brahma Vidya, the realization of the Parachita, and finally he was able to dwell in the Bhaloka. So you can see here, it is through her grace that you are able to attain that kind of knowledge that takes one into enlightenment. That's all for today.